Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to go over the IDO market and just share what I think about it. Basically, right now, I think IDO season is definitely over. And the plan is just to prepare for how the next IDO season will go, the lessons learned, and just next steps for IDOs. You can see here, if we take a look at a few like Binance, BSC pad, basically all of these now, a lot of them, this is the current ROI. There is definitely some doing very well, but a majority of them are actually performing below the IDO price and by a lot. You're talking about, 90% down, 50% down, 80% down, just like really bad numbers. And so this is just something to be prepared for, right? Like, this is what happens when you have all these VCs who've invested in this, and most of these VCs are going to disappear. And so it's very important that every unlock, you take your profits and you get out. Even the really good projects, if we look at like Chain Boost, some really great projects are down by a ton. Dragon Cart was up at one point by an insane amount, and it's now down by 30% ish. Cryo War, which is a long waited for, this was up by insane amounts at one point, and if you didn't sell your vested tokens, you're now only sitting on 9x. Poker Fantasy, same thing. This was one of the leaders, you could say, of like the beginnings of IDO season. This was a very beautiful one. Blockchain Monster Hunt did very well as well, but it's only up 2x now. Engine Starter is only up 3x. And there's a launch pad. Usually those do very well. King 0.6x, Hustle 3x, which is really nice actually. Domi was one that did very well as of recent. This launched, December 14th. But anyway, you can see here a lot of these are actually quite down now, and not the coolest thing to happen, but definitely what you would expect to see in IDO season being over. I still think it is wise to invest in IDOs. It just, you have to be a lot more selective. Chain Boost is one of my favorite ones just because it's just done very well for me, and I really like how they do their allocations and whatnot. But I'm not here to go over that. So you can see here Firestarter as well has done all positive ROI as of now, but they all launched fairly recently. So, as the vestings unlock for a VC, you're going to see dumpage happen. If we look at the current IDOs that are coming out, you can see here that the highest that's gone is like 4.7x. And then you have some that are doing 7x. This one's already below IDO price and it just launched. These are already below IDO price, just launched as well. All-time high was barely higher. And imagine that this is vested, right? So now you got tokens that you're barely able to sell the first unlock below IDO price. And then the next unlocks is going to be what? 90% down. So you really have to filter out the really bad IDOs that have no purpose behind them. Even if you're on a IDO launchpad, it doesn't mean you should go into every single one. D Health is up 2x for right now. Or no, it's down by a lot from a all-time high of 2x. I did skip this one. Very glad I did. MetaRun, I actually would have invested. So I hope it does well, but that is a lot of money that it's raised. Game Starter pulls Red Kite, Moonstarter. These are doing okay, but again, even if it's 2x, you only sell 5% or 10% or 20% of your initial tokens for near the same price, and then you're holding 75% tokens that might end up going to like 90% down, and you end up losing money, and that just ties up capital. When I think like right now is definitely the time to be DCAing into solid coins and even solid IDO launchpads as well. Harmony Launcher looks like a launch recently is killing it. Q Mall killing it as well. Don't know what that is though. Oh, whoops. This is the all-time high. This is the current. So Harmony Launcher is actually only 1.61x from a high of 50x almost. But yeah, anyway, you can just see these are all like 1.4, so it's down by a ton. But every now and then you'll see one that does decently well, and that's what you're kind of hoping for. So you really have to click into the tokens are the launches that you do, and then just look into them and make sure that they're actually good. Blockpad, I believe this is related to Blocktopia. That's why it's done so well. Sometimes you can just base it on past hype. Tank Battle's doing okay. Dino Land on Trustpad. Verve. This one's doing really well, right? And maybe it was because it was just a really solid company that um, is here for the long haul, and that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for companies that are just really solid in general, and maybe it's the way that their tokenomics works or their vesting, or maybe it's just the fact that it's a really solid one. But I do want to also take a look at like the upcoming ones, but I think I'll save that for another video. Legends of Lumia, I've heard of. All right, it's not loading, so there we go. Oh, maybe because it's a Bluezilla project. That's probably why it did well. Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Bad news is I feel very certain that IDO season is definitely over, especially with an understanding that a lot of these VCs, they want their exit liquidity. They have had tokens vested or cliffs for quite some time, and now they have those tokens or they're getting them soon. And, you know, with market conditions being bad, what do you think they're going to do? They're probably going to pull out. And when they pull out, they're going to pull the liquidity from these tokens. And you're going to see this really bad period where it's an after effect of the influence of seed and private rounds. So if you understand that, then you understand that, hey, you better be selling every unlock you get as soon as you can when you're getting into IDOs and you're hoping for an instant all your principal back on the very first unlock. That should be your goal. If you think you can do that, then definitely still join into IDOs. But even more so, look into the future IDOs that you want to be in because the price might be at a lucrative time right now. And that's your time to be like, hey, I'm going to prepare for the next IDO season by getting into, let's say, DAO Maker, which is a really solid one. You know, you got Polka Starter, you got Seedify, you got Red Kite, all the really big blue chip IDO launch pads, and start DCAing into them, dollar cost averaging, like buying a little bit every few months, every month, for some months. And then that way you set yourself up for the next IDO season that may be a year from now. It may be, you know, one more little bull spike before we go down. I don't know. But our prices are starting to look at a point where it's very lucrative.